So, you know, I go through with teachers. You've got to have a classroom library because access is a big deal. It's all over Krashen's work. It's the idea that if reading is fundamental is right, there's one book for every 300 kids in poverty. So that means if we don't have books, and in my school, I mean, I'm sure it's like this in many schools, but I have kids who didn't bring a book back in 9th grade and have not been allowed to check one out since, and they're 12th graders. And so if you have, you know, you might have a high school library, they don't visit it. Any of us who teach high school, they don't go there. So,
isn't there because
got like
or they
poster.
fired the media person.
It's got like a poster of Michael Jordan on the wall.
Oh, I love them. If students can buy it and put it on their iPhone or borrow it, our library does. Yeah, and so it's a matter of getting books to them, and then you give them a ton of choice. You set goals with them. You sit beside them and listen to them talk about reading all the time. So every day I'm talking to kids about what are you reading, what are you thinking about, what's, you know, how does this book match what you're looking for. We do all kinds of writing about real, authentic, like, tell me a question that your character is struggling with right now. You know, that it's never, I mean, I don't give a single quiz or a test or, I mean, that's just,
it's not on paper.
there are no logs. It's all about, okay, if you set your own personal reading rate based on slowing yourself down to read so you understand. Because our kids are reading on the jet ski, right? The skimming the surface, you know, just slow down and really enter the story. And no one, it says nothing about you as a human being if you read slow. I love The Art of Slow Reading, Newkirk's book. So they slow themselves down. They read at a pace that's comfortable for them, and they try to read 2 hours outside of school every week. That's our goal. And then they try to beat that. So you just keep setting it, and then I'm able to sit down, you know, if you're into Pretty Little Liars and it's your 8th book, and I'm like, you know, it's like being stuck on the same rung of a ladder. I want you to reach. So what are you going to reach for? What's going to challenge you as a reader? Is it a book from another country? Is it another genre? Is it a... But I want you to challenge yourself. And you start, you know, Marzano talked about, have kids set goals, have them monitor it, and they will do more, right? That's what my kids are doing. They're setting goals. They're monitoring their progress. They set their own goals every quarter. And just about every kid will say, I want to read harder books. I want to read more books. I want to read all of John Green. You know, one of my girls was like, how many people can say they've read the entire works of one author? I can't. You know, that's that building self-confidence, all Paul Tufts' qualities for success, persistence, self-confidence, those things we don't teach, resolve. That's what I see happening. So I know for certain that we can't get where we want to go in writing unless they read more. Loving reading, there's nothing else that matters as much as turning a kid into a kid who says, I devour books. As Stephen left me a note on my desk the other day, I just devour them, Miss Cal.
With so much reading instruction that's so tactical and sort of excerpty, you know, they read, kids read excerpt. What do you think of that as terms of,
we just read that, like if we're studying how to write a good scene and narrative, we read excerpts from all kinds of things. So it can be useful as a mentor text for what they're writing, but the sustained engagement with thinking, the sustained engagement with a nonfiction book, a fiction book, is what really changes readers. So you can't do it in excerpts, and you can't do it in ABC. It's underselling the power of the book itself, and then it's really underestimating what kids can do. And I'm very tired of people saying, having such low expectations for high school kids. They'll say, oh, they can't possibly, they're too busy. My kids tell me all the time, I couldn't quit reading. I stayed up way late. I read on my breaks at work. I read on the bus on the way to a game. It's the book. It's not about time. It's the book. And if they are given a book that has nothing to do with them, like I was, given Pride and Prejudice as a freshman in high school, I didn't care about married people wanting to get married. I was a basketball player, and so you give them books that, you know, that name something important. One of my kids read The Reason I Jump, and he read it because his younger brother has autism, and he devoured it because it taught him how to deal with his younger brother in a way he'd never thought about it. It's not on anybody's reading list, but is a powerful move for that kid who hadn't read in years. So that's my speech. That's why I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.